What do you do with a handful of spanners and a can of spray oil? You strip down a GP100. So here we have a 1982 GP100, GP standing for Grand Prix. It produces 12 horsepower at 8,500 revs. It's a two-stroke engine, and back in its heyday every teenager wanted one. It's when Suzuki were coming over to the UK and beating everybody in the Grand Prix with the RG500, so they got a bit of a reputation, and that's when they started mass producing these, mainly for the commuter market. The only one that beats it in its class, funny enough, is the GP125 version. It's a cracking little bike. We're going to start taking it apart, we're going to start stripping it down, seeing what condition's like, seeing if we can reuse any bits, or whether we're going to have to replace them with new old spares. So let's start and take this thing apart. So I'm going to start off by taking the seat off and the rack at the back, which is a bit of a chunky old thing, adding a few kilos of weight to it. So we'll start by doing that, get some spray oil going and loosen those bolts off. Okay, that's that side off. Okay, there we have the rack off. It's a few kilos, that is. A bit rusty, but that's the first part off. Now this seat should just slide backwards. Whoa! Look at the state of that, and I knew this seat was quite bad. But really, that's going to need some work doing to it, or we're going to have to source a new seat out. We'll see about that. Right, that's another piece off. Right, that's exposed this rusty mudguard, which originally was chrome. It's a bit of a wiring loom, basic one here, and some electrics. That's the top of the tank. It contains oil, which mixes with the fuel. Now we're interested in getting that bolt off there, which gets the tank off. So we'll turn the fuel off and lift the tank out. Bolts. One tank off. It's a state of it underneath. Not too bad. That's salvageable, so that's okay. So that's the tank off. Okay, we're going to take off the side panel. It's in pretty good condition, just a bit dirty, a bit oily. No damage to it, that should spray up nicely. Inside we've got the tank for the oil, and that mixes with the fuel and lubricates the piston head. Battery I know is completely dead, because when you turn the ignition on there's no lights. So I'm going to take the battery off and then we'll start on the back. My God. I'll take this side off. Missing some rubbers on here. They had rubbers to stop the vibration of the panels, so we're going to need to get some of those. And again, not a bad panel. Seems okay. Bit of damage on there. There's a hole in there for some reason, but no idea what that's for. That's definitely reusable. And just the other side, this is a little looking glass thing in the side here. You can see the oil level. So we'll get cracking with the mudguards. Okay, mudguard off. That would have been chrome, but obviously I think that one's seen better days. So that's that off. Should now just pull off this plastic inner one. Just pushes off. That's the inner one. So that will clean up quite nicely. Be able to reuse that one again. Okay, the indicators are off, and we are starting to see what it's like under here. A bit of rust, surface rust, nothing major, nothing structural on it, so that should sandblast off quite well. I'm going to now move to the front and take the front mudguard off. Okay, I've just disconnected the speedo cable. That's off. I'm going to remove, he says, and then that's off. So that would be on the scrap heap. Next we have the rear chain guard, which is a bit of a state. Again, used to be chrome but isn't, so that can go on the shelf with a bit of spray oil. These coming off quite easy. So let's take this bit off. There we go. So there we go, one rusty exhaust. So I've loosened off the oil tank. It's gonna snip this off. We're not keeping any of this. This is the two-stroke oil tank. You put the oil in there and it mixes into the fuel and lubricates the engine. So I'm going to put that on the shelf. We'll come back to that at a later stage. Well, after a little time I've got rid of a few more bits and pieces. Got rid of the centre stand, the handlebars have gone. I've just got to sort that out, drain the fluid out of the brakes, but the engine, all the bolts are out of it. I can't manage to get the airbox off after having to drill it out. Now hopefully that'll free up a bit more room. This engine to come out. Let's get all the pipes and the cables out of the way. Well, there we have it. One engine out the bike. Right, we have done for part one. That's it. I'm knackered. I'll do. The engine's out. It's just the wheels and the frame left. That's coming out next time. All the bits I've taken off today are stacked behind me on the shelf. And well, that's it. That's part one out of the way. So I'm going down the pub for a well-earned pint, and I shall catch you in part two. Take off the real and handlebars, bumpers, not bumpers, cut. For fuck's sake. Came over and we're doing quite well in the RG, but no, cut. No, it's definitely the air filter.